Hey, ho, ho, everybody. Welcome to the program. Hi, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope everybody is doing okay. Um, we're live. Hi. I have stories. Lots and lots of stories. And I have show prep. Oh, I am out of my mind with show prep for you guys today. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tom Reynolds. This is uh the Nosey Liberal. And we are live. And I am thrilled. I am thrilled. I was in a bad mood. I had something dramatically bad happen to me last night with my business. And I found out some information that, frankly, um, uh, pissed me off. It made me angry. And I have since recovered from that, and I'm in a relatively good mood. So, in a matter of hours, things change and get better. A matter of hours, little bit of time, and things just peak. Hi, Jim. How are you? Hi, FYNation.com. How are you? Are you doing good? They caught the guy. We're going to talk about that. They still won't say whether or not he's a terrorist. So right wing media is going to go insane over that. You can count on it, but it doesn't really matter if they do or not, do they? It what does it matter really? Essentially, when in the grand scheme, what does it matter if they call him a terrorist or not? I don't. Um, that was fun. I sorry about that. I logged myself out of hi again. Logged myself out of the broadcasting studio. Um, gotta love technical difficulties. So that little hiccup was my fault. We're here. Um, I was closing browsers because I'm doing research for the business, and I was getting my browsers all set up. And this application that I use is browser based. And I accidentally clicked too fast because my computer is awesome. I have a great piece of machinery. It just happens to use Windows freaking 11, and it sucks. That being said, the guy they caught him. Um, he seems a little wacko, uh, from all reports. So, um, yeah, Jim points out maybe the shooter was engaging in legitimate political discourse. I don't know. Um, all I know is it doesn't matter if they come out and classify him as a terrorist or don't. Um, except in the eyes of how they're going to deal with him in the future. So that's really it. Um, it doesn't matter. But this is what happened yesterday after we went off the air. Um, let's see here. Let's pull up the clip, and here we go.
I am truly fortunate to stand here among these extraordinary investigators and federal partners to make this announcement. Moments ago, Frank Robert James was stopped on the street and arrested by members of the New York City Police Department. Officers, in response to a Crime Stoppers tip, stopped Mr. James at 1:42 p.m. at the corner of St. Mark's Place and First Avenue in Manhattan. He was taken into custody without incident and has been transported to an NYPD facility. He will be charged with committing yesterday's appalling crime in Brooklyn. I want to commend all of the investigators and analysts who took part in this all-hands-on-deck investigation. Literally, hundreds of NYPD detectives worked doggedly during the last 30 hours to bring this together. They did so in tandem with a vast number of our law enforcement partners, including those from the FBI NYPD Joint Terrorism Task Force, the ATF NYPD Crime Gun Intelligence Center, and the Regional Task Force led by the United States Marshal Service. We hope this arrest brings some solace to the victims and the people of the city of New York. We used every resource at our disposal to gather and process significant evidence that
Okay, that's enough. They did their job. Yada yada yada. Everything's good. They got them. They got them. Yay! Let's be happy. Now it's going to be the constant narrative of, oh my God, why did he do it? Is he insane? And I'm sure there will also be demonizing of homeless people, which has already started. So it's going to be a fun little news cycle, or dreadful little news cycle. But like Jim says, he was just having a little legitimate political discourse, and nothing wrong with that. Little upheaval in New York City subway, right? What could go wrong? What could be the issue? So, I don't know. You tell me. That being said, other news. I want to get this story out of the way because I'm gonna have more to say about this, but I'm not prepared, and I prepared a bunch for you guys because I was mad at myself yesterday on how yesterday went at the end of the program because I ran out of gas. I thought we had a really good show. I thought I was on top of it, and then I just petered out. So I want to stay focused and not do that. And the fact that I've been up all night doesn't matter at this point. But this is from Bloomberg.com. This morning, Elon Musk made a controversial offer to buy Twitter Incorporated, saying the company has extraordinary potential and he is the person to unlock it. The world's richest person will offer $54.20 a share in cash, representing a 54% premium over the January 28th closing price. By the way, he still has lawsuits going on right now because he didn't disclose, allegedly, the details of the stock buy. So people are suing him now. And Elon Musk, like, this comes on the heels of, and I posted it on the YouTube page. You could go check it out if you want later. Elon Musk getting begged by Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson to save Twitter. So apparently he listened. He made the offer with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday after turning down a potential board seat at the company. The billionaire who controls Tesla Incorporated first disclosed a stake of about 9% on April 4th. So he announced it on Twitter. And it's funny too because I watched this TikTok. The TikTok, and all the kids use the TikTok and the TikTok. Well, I watched this TikTok, and basically it had the clip from, spoiler alert, got to do that these days, from the Batman, where Bruce Wayne buys out the shares when Wayne Enterprises goes public. And somebody on the TikTok said, that this is what Elon Musk is going to do. Elon Musk is going to go and he's going to just buy Twitter and make it his. I guess when you don't have to pay that much in taxes, you have money to just whoop, 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 all around, all around, all around. Just kind of do whatever you want with the money and make it go wherever. I like that, Jim. Renaming Twitter to Twatter because he is a twat. And yeah, I think that is perfect for him there. Welcome to Nosey Liberal. We got a little bit of participation going on today, and I'm liking it. And I'm here for it. And I didn't really prepare for this story, except to say that it kind of scares me a little bit, and it kind of doesn't. So I am hoping that this is just me being nervous and anxious because he's like one of those chameleon rich guys like Bill Maher, where you never know where he's going to stand, and then he goes and does something crazy like ends up on Joe Rogan's show. Like, by the way, you will never catch me on Joe Rogan's podcast. I want nothing to do with it. He can come on here. I'll interview him here. And the first thing I'll ask him is, why are you such a moron? And then he'll walk away. But he can come on this show. I'd be more than happy to have him. That being said, I do not have any love left for Bill Maher. Whatever he is, he's not a liberal. Unless you talk to classical liberal, then he's a classical liberal, like they say. But he's not my kind of liberal. He's not the Nina Turner endorsing kind of liberal, if you know what I mean. So there's that. I need to take a little sip of my handy dandy. Pardon me. Just need to have a little picker upper, a little Sunny Delight, and it's not Coca-Cola, so everybody should be thrilled that it's a regular drink. So, that being said, Elon Musk probably will own Twitter. I'm gonna get out there and say he's gonna own it, and it will be Twitter, and we just have to, I don't know, face the music. So this first story that we're gonna do, well, I'm gonna get to trying to figure out where I want to go first, and I think I'm gonna stick with the twatting. I think, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick with the full metal twatting. We have, let's see, I don't know, here we go, just bear with me. The Trump cult. And they never seem to want to take any, I don't know, personal responsibility for anything. Like, they always seem to embody legitimate political discourse when they're talking out of their ass. And this January 6th attorney, and we're going to get into it, is just absolutely priceless. I love him. I love the angle they've gone. Forget personal responsibility for that. I was involved because I just love Donald Trump. No. We have instead, and this is from Politico, and I tweeted it out. We have instead a guy who is going with the Twinkie defense. I shit you not. Now, what is the Twinkie defense? Well, the Twinkie defense is that something else made me do it. So, Dustin Thompson is facing charges of attempting to obstruct congressional electoral vote counting session, as well as stealing a coat tree from the Capitol office. And he's at a jury trial, and he is making the argument that it was Trump. All Trump. The Trump train. The Trump. Hold that thought. Let the music play. Love this song. Gives me old school Air America Rachel Maddow vibes. Trump is the worst Twinkie ever. Actually, absolutely agree, Jim. But back to the story, if I may, if I can find it. I am in browser hell. There. Back to the story. The strategy is claim that Trump inspired and caused rioters to take violent action in support of his effort to overturn the election. Judges have basically rejected it out of hand. But this is a jury trial. And the jury can see the argument differently. And it's a test that could reverberate across hundreds of other cases. The question of whether Trump conspired to obstruct Congress is the last step in the transfer of powers to Joe Biden, is the first step in this defense. So it's under legal scrutiny, and they are all basically saying, well, Trump made me do it. I have no personal responsibility here. Donald Trump made me do this. Are you kidding me? Donald Trump made you do it? This is the Twinkie defense on steroids. I have no logical reason to actually do this damn silly thing this damn silly way. But over there, that's the person who made me do it. And he's a bad guy. So we should all go after the bad guy and not me. I don't deserve any charges. And a jury could very well end up believing this bullshit. The jury could very well say, you know what? Trump conspired to obstruct the election. and remove criminal liability of the mob. They could very well do that in one fell swoop. They could be like, yeah, okay, good for him. Dustin Thompson, he doesn't have any real cross to bear in this. He's the guy who did it. He's the guy who we need to blame. Blame Trump. And this guy can get off scot-free. Are you serious? Yes. And if it sets precedent, other attorneys are then going to say, Trump's fault. Donald Trump. Trump Pence. I rest my case. And all they got to do is convince the jury. The judges, on one hand, might not be so convincible because they actually have to look at the law and look at how things work and properly adjudicate things. But a jury is a jury. And we've all seen 12 Angry Men. And we know how it can get. So here we are. Oh my God. The biggest Twinkie in the world, the worst Twinkie ever, could now be blamed for these cases. It's not really unbelievable. The party of personal responsibility. The party of personal responsibility is saying, I am not responsible anymore because Donald Trump made me do it. Where are we going in this country when this might be a legitimate defense? Now, good on the lawyer for coming up with it. Damn good lawyer. Get your client off. Create a precedent for other attorneys. But Jesus. It is clear, as Jim says, that the mob wouldn't have marched to the Capitol except that Trump urged them to. And even Trump is claiming, oh, I would have gone with you. I really wanted to march that day. Really, dude? You wanted to march that day? Your fat ass can't even get off to change the channel. You're not going to march in some rally, you douche. And not to mention, the Secret Service would have gone insane. Just saying. The Secret Service would have gone nuts. And rightly so. Because they gotta protect the dumb fuck. Oops, swore. There's one in the quarter jar. Tom's a swearing. Tom's in the mood. So it's like, we know it's clear that this is Trump's fault. But now we have it being used as a legitimate defense to basically say, yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Really? I wonder how many black people could get away with that defense. Well, I was just listening to him, officer. Please don't shoot me with your gun. I wasn't disobeying a command directly from you. I wonder how many cops would just bang bang because they weren't complying. It's a good question to ask. Just a thought. Staying on the Trump train. Jim, not in a jury trial. See, you're forgetting this is a jury trial now. Adults can plead however they want to damn well plead in a jury trial and get away with it. And it is arguable if they're adults. They are big babies, as Tara Devlin would say. They are huge, huge babies. Every time I see that baby Trump, I think of an accurate representation of Donald Trump. I think that is the most accurate representation of Donald Trump you can get. Is him basically, I don't know, in the air, full of hot air, crying like a fool. Because he is a fool. And he, like the mob, the Trump pansy mob that we are dealing with, are also terrorists, put it simply. And more people should be calling them out as such, but they won't. And they shouldn't be going to Donald Trump for things that they do. And when we come back, we'll discuss it. I have a video. And I always have this. Trump with some insight into Taiwan and China.
I'm Dr. Anthony Lazowitz, and this is Climate Connections. Jane McCurry grew up in Detroit, the Motor City.
My parents worked for the auto industry. They both worked for Ford. The auto industry is the lifeblood of a lot of the people there.
But the industry is changing.
Electrification is happening. The industry is moving really quickly toward cleaner vehicles.
McCurry is executive director of Clean Fuels Michigan. The nonprofit is advocating that the state invest in the transition to electric vehicles, so Michigan and its workforce are not left behind. She says that financial incentives can help entice companies to locate EV and battery manufacturing facilities in the state. For example, General Motors recently announced it will invest $7 billion at 4 EV and battery production facilities in Michigan. The commitment came after state authorities developed a tax incentive package for the company worth more than $800 million. This investment is expected to create 4,000 new jobs.
And so having those incentives on the table is really important to make sure that Michigan is winning those jobs.
McCurry says investing in the EV industry will pay off for the state's workforce and help Michigan secure its role in the auto industry's future. Climate Connections is produced by the Yale Center for Environmental Communication. To hear more stories like this, visit climateconnections.org.
We are back, and I'm here, and we are live. And as you do have issues sometimes, I had an issue, and I had to take care of it and during the break, and I feel better having taken care of it. I think it's obvious for those watching what the issue was. For those not watching, you can figure it out. But I feel a lot better now that I fixed the issue. So there's that. Sometimes you just have to do what is best for you and is going to work for you, and make it functional for you. And I did that. It is what it is. So over here. I just my body sometimes just doesn't want to cooperate. And what can you do? So you deal with what you can, and you do it live, as we are. So we're doing it live, and I'm trying not to be completely self-conscious about things today, and go from there. But I think we'll be all right in the long run. Um, that being said, we are live. We are here. Um, and I'm pretty much okay with that. I am good to go today. Um, Jim thinks that Trump staring into the eclipse was his best moment, and I'm pretty good on agreeing with you on that. I'm there with you. That was Donald Trump's finer accomplishments and things that he just did spectacularly well. He is a buffoon. He just happens to have money, and it is what it is. And it's unfortunate that we have to deal with a guy who has so much wealth and power that he can raise even more money off the backs of the poor dupe Republicans and just continue to spew his hate and his stupidity and his vile nonsense that he does. So here is the video without any further ado. If I can get the words out of my mouth, that would be great on a talk show. Here is Donald Trump talking about the greatest threats, because, of course, a madman would know the greatest threats to the United States.
Was the greatest in history for everybody.
Let me stay on Russia and China for a minute. One report out this week, Vladimir Putin will make more selling oil and gas this year, estimated to be $315 billion. That's almost $1 billion a day. Obviously, that will fund his war effort against Ukraine. And after watching Putin invade Ukraine, do you believe President Xi will try to take Taiwan? He has shown a lot of aggression, flying fighter jets over their airspace, keeps talking about reunification. That would be a takeover. And who do you think is the bigger geopolitical threat, Russia or China?
Because of the massive economy of China and because of the amount of building that they're doing of their military. You take a look at the number of planes that they've built. They're building brand new aircraft carriers. They're doing a lot of nuclear. We have much more than them right now, but within 5 years, they'll have caught us. And Russia and us are the two biggest, but they will have caught us within 5 years. But what they're doing with their money, with their wealth, the wealth that they are making, and they're spending, like the island that they're building a fortress. He said to everybody that, no, this was a housing development. I said, how come you have the longest runway I've ever seen? A guy at a housing development doesn't need a runway that's 20,000 feet long. Why are you doing that? They never really had a very good answer. But look, you always have to say they're both very, very difficult because of nuclear. You know, that sets everything apart. That puts it into a different perspective. But if you look overall, including economy, China's a massive economy. Russia's a big economy, but much smaller. And I think got to watch both of them very carefully. I will say this. What Obama and Biden did is they did the all-time worst thing that could happen. They drove, because of energy and other reasons and stupidity, they drove Russia and China together. That was something that never could have happened because they're neighbors, never friendly neighbors. They did.
Oh, they're neighbors. They're never friendly neighbors. He's grabbing them together. Oh, my God. You hear this guy? I mean, he can't string sentences together, and you have legions of people marching for him to the mall. I mean, this is crazy that we have this going on in this country. This is ridiculous that we have this going on. And this guy is unable to say, well, right now, the biggest threat is actually Putin. Russia, because of how they're behaving, is the biggest threat. He has to go on the Fox News narrative and basically criticize Barack Obama, Joe Biden, for nothing. There's nothing to be critical about them at all. And yet, here he is, being critical and being ridiculous and being wrong all at once. Critical, ridiculous, wrong, all at once. And he is only on Fox News because he is essentially clickbait. He's not offering anything to the table. He is clickbait. There's no good coming from Donald Trump. I don't know. Figure. Really? I misspelled participate? That's funny. Libtard. I'll take that off and we will fix it. I don't believe I did that one. But yes, actually, I do. My spelling is horrible. Is absolutely horrible. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all good, right? We all have our cross to bear. We all deal with things in the way we deal with them. And it is what it is. So we deal with it. Yeah. I guess that's how life crumbles sometimes. But at least I hope I don't sound as stupid as Donald Trump trying to no, you're helping, Jim, thank you. I don't want to have it up if it looks stupid. And I've had that up for a little while. But luckily nobody else has noticed. So there is that. That being said, my mouth is terribly dry. Excuse me. Let me fix that. That being said, I need a professional editor, so that's okay. I'm not at all critical here. You are exactly what this show needs. So it is, excuse me, all good. I'm gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, another story. Just bear with me, if you will.
Insight Daily Radio. Author, humorist, and radio personality Garrison Keillor has been a fixture in popular culture since the 1970s, with more than 30 best-selling books and his Prairie Home Companion radio program. And he has a new book entitled Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel. We caught up with Garrison to chat about his new book and the creative journey that continues to bring Lake Wobegon to life.
In the course of doing the radio show, I didn't want to simply be the MC and say, please won't you welcome Leo Kottke. I wanted to have something to do myself, and so I decided I would tell stories and invent a town called Lake Wobegon, and I would populate it with some of the people I grew up with and my relatives changing their names to protect the innocent. So I came back to it, my childhood, as a practical matter to give myself material. I exploited my childhood, I would say, rather than come to appreciate it. I mean, I'm grateful for it now. Now I look back and I see that without it, I would have been lost up a creek. Instead, I was beside a lake.
That's author and humorist Garrison Keillor, whose new book, Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel, has just been released and is now available wherever books are sold.
Hello, everybody. We are back.
Insight Daily Radio.
And we are back. And sorry for that brief little interruption, if you will. Had to deal with something real quick, and it's been dealt with. And I feel better. I hope you do too. Going with talking about Donald Trump and the Trumpansies and the stupid that we're continually forced to deal with on a regular basis at this point. I want to point out Herschel Walker is just frightening. And let me just grab the story real quick here, if you will. So Herschel Walker is in preparation for the 24th primary in May, and in Georgia. And he has a thing called Policy Time. Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell have been former President Trump and Newt Gingrich have all been helping Walker because he apparently doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He no clue. The door is closed on a clue. It is quite frightening, as they say. It is quite scary. And he has I don't know, helpful advisors, if you want to call them that. Are we calling them that? Are they really helpful at this point? I don't know. Like I am not sure that going to the guy who gave us the contract on America is the guy you really want to go to for policy advice. Like I wouldn't. He wouldn't be my first choice, is what I'm saying. Like, are you gonna? Is this the guy that we're going to? Newt Gingrich. Because, well, at least he's not going to Rick Scott, right? So there's that. He's not going to Rick Scott and saying, "Hey, Rick, can you help me out on some policy?" Because if we know anything about Rick Scott's policy, it sucks. But you do get to at least say the Pledge of Allegiance and stand for America and apple pie and hate trans kids. So I guess there's that. But it's telling, just like Donald Trump, Herschel Walker doesn't know anything. There's no substance there. So you don't have any feel for anything to do with the man. So you don't get anything good from him. And you get this blank, nonsensical thing. And it's pathetic. But it is typical of where we're at. It is a scary ass thing to be behold. But it shouldn't surprise anybody. Because long ago, I'd say Ronald Reagan, the Republicans abandoned any kind of policy for get rich quick schemes and everything else they can muster. So here we are. This is the state of confusion. And Jim points out that maybe a guy who's had 400 concussions shouldn't be on the top of the list. Just saying. Yeah. My phone is going off like crazy today, and it's distracting me. So I can see it blinking. So I'm going to take one last break, and I am going to deal with the phone and come back, and we're going to talk a little more and get things taken care of. It's really annoying the crap out of me. And it's good because here's the break. Music for the break time that I was going to take. Perfect.
Read diverse, read indie on Insight Daily Radio. Conversations with today's most influential authors from the world of independent publishing. Denise Lajmadier is a Native American author, and her latest book is entitled His Feathers Were Chains, an award-winning poetry collection addressing trauma, love, grief, and enduring hope. While the premise of the collection is overt criticism of settler society, the poetry within is subtle, approachable, and grounded in Ojibwe knowledge and customs. We spoke with her about this most interesting book.
I want my poems to be very readable, because you hear about so many people saying, I hate poetry, I hate it in school because they had to scan it and they had to do all kinds of work. They had to try to interpret it. It hurts their brains, and so they don't like poetry. So I wanted my poems to be very readable to anyone out there, especially, as a Native writer too, with my writing group who are all non-Native women. I would run my poems by them because I wanted my poems to be able to be read by general audience, not just by Native people. So I wanted non-Native people to be able to relate to my poems and have them understandable. So they're not opaque. You don't have to dig for any deeper meaning, anything like that. They're pretty clear. Like I said, they're narrative poems. Some are prose poems, so they're very readable. And I think that's important for people so they can enjoy poetry.
That's author Denise Lajmadier on her latest collection of poetry, His Feathers Were Chains, published by North Dakota State University Press.
Hey, ho, back to the show. My nerves are going crazy today. And it's like everything wants to hit and strike all at once. And I'm trying to do a show. It's like, dude, trying to do a show. Did you not get the memo? I released the memo. There was a memo. It went out to everybody. Show. Update. Show. So it's like, frustrating when this all happens and I have to just deal with it all at once. And it is what it is. But it's been pretty much taken care of. and I'm happy with it. And we'll get there. Is where we're at. Um, it I feel I feel a little lopsided today, and it is making things interesting because I fundamentally have issues dealing with ADHD, and because I'm really easily distracted today, like super easily distracted today. It is mad frustrating that everything that possibly could distract me is distracting me, and I can't quite pin the tail on the donkey to fix the issue. And it is really, really annoying because that's all I want to do, right? I just want to fix the issue. I want to make it go away. And you can't always, like, you have to realize that there are sometimes things that are going to happen where you can't always have things go away or go as planned in the way you want. And it is mad frustrating when it is happening live on air. It is just wicked frustrating. So, my apologies. But back to Herschel Walker for a minute, since we only have a little bit of time. These goons in the Republican Party, they keep putting on people who legitimately shouldn't be like a part of the party. In power, at least. They could be a part of the party, sure. If you like stupid and inbred, go for it. But if you're trying to, oh, I don't know, like act like you have a clue on how to govern, maybe it would be a good thing to just, oh, I don't know, just think outside the box. Maybe it would be smart and the wise course of action to when you're dealing with running for office, you know what you're going to talk about. Like, it's all good and fine for someone like me. Like, I'm what am I? I'm a podcaster. I don't like I'm happy with what I have, but I don't need what is it? I don't need I don't need to validate myself by running for office. And that's what they're doing. Like, Ron Cade is running for office in West Virginia because she wants to change and do good, and she like understands policy, and she understands what is happening in the world, and she has an immense amount of just smarts, intellectual awareness that she can use for her benefit. Same as Nina Turner, right? Nina Turner specifically is amazing, and she has an amazing amount, and we're going to talk about her in the next hour, an amazing amount of smarts and just great personality to be able to run and be something in the Democratic Party and be somebody. And that's what we need more of, not less. And what we're dealing with on the right wing, is a bunch of crazies. And we're going to talk about that more in the next hour, where we deal with the absolute batshit crazy terror that is the right wing, and it's just sad and scary, and everybody should be aware of it. And the Democrats need to have an infrastructure to combat it and fix it, and go after what is coming up. And I don't think the Democrats are at all prepared for what is coming toward them with the Republican Party. It scares the bejesus out of me that we have a party that is willing to go to God, guns, and Jesus, and think they have the monopoly on patriotism, and run with that. It should terrify everyone to the core, and it should wake people up. And I don't think it does enough people, and that is very frightening thing that we're dealing with. That we have come to the point where we have a party in power that is aimless as this little monologue. But we'll be right back, and more to come. And I'll be a little bit more structured in it. We'll be right back. Better than being muted, right?
Insight Daily Radio. Author, humorist, and radio personality Garrison Keillor has been a fixture in popular culture since the 1970s, with more than 30 best-selling books and his Prairie Home Companion radio program. And he has a new book entitled Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel. We caught up with Garrison to chat about his new book and the creative journey that continues to bring Lake Wobegon to life.
In the course of doing the radio show, I didn't want to simply be the MC and say, please won't you welcome Leo Kottke. I wanted to have something to do myself, and so I decided I would tell stories and invent a town called Lake Wobegon, and I would populate it with some of the people I grew up with and my relatives, changing their names to protect the innocent. So I came back to it, my childhood, as a practical matter to give myself material. I exploited my childhood, I would say, rather than come to appreciate it. I mean, I'm grateful for it now. Now I look back and I see that without it, I would have been lost up a creek. Instead, I was beside a lake.
That's author and humorist Garrison Keillor, whose new book, Boomtown, a Lake Wobegon novel, has just been released and is now available wherever books are sold.
Hi, I'm Laura Flanders of The Laura Flanders Show, where I interview the best thinkers and doers of our time. On TV, the show premieres Sundays at 11:30 Eastern on PBS World and at the Laura Flanders Show YouTube channel. You can join my guests and me every week there in the live viewing party, and then catch us all week on public television stations. Prefer to listen? Find us on a radio station near you or subscribe to the free podcast. You'll find listings and ways to subscribe at lauraflanders.org. That's also where you'll receive my regular commentaries. I call them the F word. Here's this week's. Gas prices are rising and the options for policymakers are few and getting fewer, but there are some good ones. Let's be clear, the U.S. barely uses Russian oil, most of which goes to Europe and Asia. Still, it's true that without buying from Russia, the world's available supply of oil and gas is smaller, and reduced supplies tend to result in higher prices. But do they have to? The simple answer is no. Even before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, big oil was posting record profits. According to the U.S. government watchdog group Accountable U.S., Chevron, Shell, Exxon, and BP made over $75 billion in 2021, a record sum. The oil companies are awash in wealth. They could at any point choose to lower prices for a beleaguered public in wartime. Instead, their executives are choosing to puff up dividends and CEO salaries and buy back their own shares, stock buybacks being win-wins for shareholders. Now, Republicans and their big oil buddies are threatening to spread anti-Biden lies all the way to the midterms by blaming price spikes on White House bungling and its refusal to open the last protected bits of public lands to drilling. Bad options for Biden, numbers 1, 2, and 3, are drill the lands, give in to the big oil thugs, and lose the midterms. Bad option number 4 would be to go groveling to Saudi Arabia to beg them to pump more oil so as to increase global supply, a move that the White House is clearly considering. To plead with the Saudis right now would be to plead with a nation that's just executed 81 innocent people, mostly professors, for unpatriotic acts, and annually executes LGBTQ people in public. And let's not forget the House of Saud's role in standing with Russia and the wages of the just as deadly war in Yemen. There are some better options, though. Stand strong against the bloody House of Saud, for one, and big oil and their pals. Stand strong against hostage-taking by the Republicans and side with beleaguered Americans and their progressive allies in Congress. Progressives, including Bernie and Warren and Pramila Jayapal et al., are calling on the administration to expand Jan Schakowsky's COVID-19 Price Gouging Prevention Act to include gas and energy profiteers and send the proceeds from a tax on gouges to families in need. Another good option would be to win the midterms by standing with the planet, impose a war tax on carbon profiteers, and spend the proceeds on transitioning to renewables. The shift to clean energy doesn't have to go slowly. Electric car sales rose 43% in 2020 and over 108% last year. Stocks in renewables are outperforming oil and gas right now. So, tipping points tip. This could be one of them. If anything good could come from this grim, ghastly invasion, this could be it. We've certainly hit the bottom of the gas and oil barrel. You can find out more about The Laura Flanders Show on public television and community radio at lauraflanders.org, and join me every Monday night on Instagram Live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining me. I'm Laura.
I'm Dr. Anthony Lizowitz, and this is Climate Connections. A growing number of people in Ulster County, New York, are switching to solar. Local leaders plan for the entire county to use only clean electricity by 2040.
Local governments, local communities have to step up and really drive climate action from the ground level.
That's County Executive Patrick Ryan. He says to encourage residents to do their part, the county has launched a new program called Solarize Ulster. It allows people to switch to clean electricity while lowering their utility bills. Participants subscribe to a community solar program.
And not only do you get the sort of moral victory of knowing you're helping to keep our planet alive and healthy and address climate change, But by participating, every single resident actually saves 10% guaranteed on their monthly electric bills.
For each new customer who signs up, the solar provider donates $100 to a fund that supports other green projects locally. Ryan says the community's response to the county's climate initiatives has been positive.
I think if it can work here, it can work anywhere. And that's what's ultimately so exciting to me and makes me optimistic about where we could take this in the future.
Climate Connections is produced by the Yale Center for Environmental Communication. To hear more stories like this, visit climateconnections.org.
Hey, ho, ho. Welcome back, everybody. We are here. I love it when I fix the biggest issue I have. Like, oh my God. Like, totally freaking awesome. Just thank you, Jesus. The biggest issue I was having, I went off and I fixed it, and I feel so much better. So there's that. That's always a good thing. I like it when I don't feel so, I don't know, neurotic. When I cannot feel like as neurotic as I am, like dealing with something, it is always a nice feeling when I can fix the thing and be like, yeah, I did that. So I am quite overjoyed with myself and that I fixed what was ailing me, and we did it. We did it together. You put up with me, and I managed to fix the monkey driving the man crazy. So we have there are a couple things that I want to focus on in the next couple of stories that we cover that are really, really important that we cover, and I want to focus on them deeply because I think they matter, and I think they're really, really important, and it will help me get out of my head where I'm trapped at the moment, and be able to deal with things in a positive, healthy way, as opposed to the way I'm dealing with it right now. And that's always a good thing. First, I want to play, before we go into that, I want to play something, and I will look for it. I always feel like I'm, like when I go down like this, it always feels like I'm praying to you guys, and I know I'm not. But it's like, hamana, 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 and it's a little weird. But you got to remember, when I do the show, I am doing everything. So any faults or issues, totally mine. That being said, I want to play this bit with the border because this border crisis that is going on left me speechless and angry yesterday. And I've somewhat recovered. From the speechless part, I have recovered. From the anger part, not so much. This is Jen Psaki talking to some blonde in the press about the migrants coming to DC, trying to make a big deal out of it. on the day it happened.
The first bus of migrants arrived in D.C. today. Texas Governor Greg Abbott making good on his promise to send migrants to the president's doorstep. I think you previously called it a publicity stunt. Is that still the view of the White House? Can you give us any reaction to this busload of migrants arriving here in D.C.?
Well, these are all migrants who have been processed by CBP and are free to travel. So it's nice the state of Texas is helping them get to their final destination as they await in their outcome of their immigration proceedings. And they're all in immigration proceedings.
So I love it. She is just awesome. She is basically saying, you know what? They did it. What are we gonna do? They went and did it. What are we supposed to say? Explain that to me. What are we supposed to say? That we're mad? I mean, they didn't have the overreaction that I did. I still believe Greg Abbott is a Nazi. I still believe that he is no better than shipping them in trains to death camps, which is one step closer to what he actually wants to do. That being said, you have to take a step back a little bit and a deep breath and be like, okay, let's now look at this and unpeel it and see what else he's doing, because there's more to this that he is mishandling, and it is atrocious. Now this is from, let me get the story here. I have the urge to sing, and I don't want to do that. So this is from The Hill and New York Post, one corporate media outlet and one right-wing outlet. Traffic snarls and the closure of 3 international bridges on the Mexican border, announced by Greg Abbott, governor, will end some of the controversial inspections after costing Texas businesses $1 million each day. His response is to end inspections at only one bridge. So instead of stopping this ineffective, ridiculous, tragic way of doing things, Greg Abbott, in his infinite genius, is like, the bridge from Nueva Leon to Texas will return to normal effective immediately, he said at a press conference. Because he claims they made a deal with their law enforcement in Mexico that they will inspect trucks entering the U.S. before they cross the border. And he hopes that will, stop the drama. Yet there are other bridges that this is still going on with. And this is ridiculous. These checkpoints that are set up at the Laredo Columbia Bridge, for example, is 45 to 60-minute inspections performed by the Texas Department of Public Safety. The Mexican inspections only take about 30 minutes. So there is that. The inspections were in response to the U.S. government's plan to end the Title 42 Public Safety Authority. And this is how they combat something they don't like, to make it worse on people. And the outcome becomes the commercial traffic across the bridge, and I can't say a far international bridge and far in the Enceladus Bridge in McAllen, and Progreso Bridge in Progreso, halting in both directions. And it's pissing off the truckers, rightly so. The McAllen mayor blames Greg Abbott, rightly so. It's Greg Abbott implemented these inspections. And even though we're all for public safety, we don't want to see the correlation between the DPS inspection and the border security. No matter what, commerce and trade cannot be stopped, he told the New York Post. The McAllen mayor did. And here we have Greg Abbott stopping trade when we have supply chain problems. He is pulling a political stunt. Not going to take this break because it took up even earlier. You're listening to Nosey Liberal. We're live. Hashtag FYI Live if you want to communicate. Leave a message or not. Let me know how I'm doing. Don't leave the show. Please stay. I hope. We want you here, and we like you here. So if you could stay, that would be wonderful. Yeah. So there's that. He created a border crisis where there was no border crisis. This is what they do. They create problems where there are no problems. There's no issue. But he doesn't like all the migrants coming across. So he exacerbates the problem. And he has dealt with one deal with one bridge. And Greg Abbott this isn't my fault. This is Joe Biden's fault. If Joe Biden would just get on the Title 42 bus and do it the way I wanted to do it, I wouldn't have to do it this way. Like I wouldn't have any issues. But instead, here we have, I don't know, Greg Abbott making an issue where there is no issue. Fundamentally, no issue. And Greg Abbott is like, I gotta find something, and I gotta make it tons worse than ever before. And I gotta screw all these people. You see, because I'm Greg Abbott. It's outstanding to me that this guy does this. And here we are to suffer the consequences. It is crazy that we are dealing with this issue in the way we're dealing with it. And it makes me psychotic because we have something and have had legitimate ways to solve the immigration problem. The GOP, in their infinite wisdom, just does not want to do anything. They don't want to do anything. So they create a problem out of nothing. And then they say, yeah, that's not my fault. That's Joe Biden's fault. Dude, you made this problem. You put the inspectors there. You decided this was a good idea. Jim, they never had any principles. I don't believe you can say that the Republican Party ever had any principles. When? Reagan? Iran-Contra? When did the Republican Party ever have any principles? Time and day. Because I don't believe they ever did. I think they constantly pull stunts like this with this border nonsense. And they constantly rig the system to then say, oh, it's Joe Biden's fault. What? No. It's not Joe Biden's fault. The fault goes to Greg Abbott. It's really that simple. It's not complicated at all. I maybe am missing when they did, but I'll take your word for it that they had any kind of, I don't know, principles. But okay, you didn't agree with them. I can totally understand. I'm so damn frustrated. All right. I have a 11:30 break, but I have a stomach issue. So I'm going to take the break now instead of 11:30 and deal with my stomach, because if I don't, I might end up with something on the floor, and that won't be pretty. So just bear with me. I appreciate everybody's problem dealing with me. I think it's because I'm talking about Greg Abbott and he's really pissing me off. It's making my stomach go all crazy. So let me deal with that. See, this is a problem when you don't have any little helpers to help you with the show. You got to cover it all. And unfortunately, I have to cover it with a break. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. And I will be right back. And we won't have the half-hour break instead. Okay? Okay. I say so. I say so. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Laura Flanders of The Laura Flanders Show, where I interview the best thinkers and doers of our time. On TV, the show premieres Sundays at 11:30 Eastern on PBS World and at the Laura Flanders Show YouTube channel. You can join my guests and me every week there in the live viewing party, and then catch us all week on public television stations. Prefer to listen? Find us on a radio station near you or subscribe to the free podcast. You'll find listings and ways to subscribe at lauraflanders.org. That's also where you'll receive my regular commentaries. I call them the F word. Here's this week's. Gas prices are rising and the options for policymakers are few and getting fewer, but there are some good ones. Let's be clear, the U.S. barely uses Russian oil, most of which goes to Europe and Asia. Still, it's true that without buying from Russia, the world's available supply of oil and gas is smaller, and reduced supplies tend to result in higher prices. But do they have to? The simple answer is no. Even before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, big oil was posting record profits. According to the U.S. government watchdog group Accountable U.S., Chevron, Shell, Exxon, and BP made over $75 billion in 2021, a record sum. The oil companies are awash in wealth. They could at any point choose to lower prices for a beleaguered public in wartime. Instead, their executives are choosing to puff up dividends and CEO salaries and buy back their own shares, stock buybacks being win-wins for shareholders. Now, Republicans and their big oil buddies are threatening to spread anti-Biden lies all the way to the midterms by blaming price spikes on White House bungling and its refusal to open the last protected bits of public lands to drilling. Bad options for Biden, numbers 1, 2, and 3, are drill the lands, give in to the big oil thugs, and lose the midterms. Bad option number 4 would be to go groveling to Saudi Arabia to beg them to pump more oil so as to increase global supply, a move that the White House is clearly considering. To plead with the Saudis right now would be to plead with a nation that's just executed 81 innocent people, mostly professors, for unpatriotic acts, and annually executes LGBTQ people in public. And let's not forget the House of Saud's role in standing with Russia and the wages of the just as deadly war in Yemen. There are some better options, though. Stand strong against the bloody House of Saud, for one, and big oil and their pals. Stand strong against hostage-taking by the Republicans and side with beleaguered Americans and their progressive allies in Congress. Progressives, including Bernie and Warren and Pramila Jayapal et al., are calling on the administration to expand Jan Schakowsky's COVID-19 Price Gouging Prevention Act to include gas and energy profiteers and send the proceeds from a tax on gouges to families in need. Another good option would be to win the midterms by standing with the planet, impose a war tax on carbon profiteers, and spend the proceeds on transitioning to renewables. The shift to clean energy doesn't have to go slowly. Electric car sales rose 43% in 2020 and over 108% last year. Stocks in renewables are outperforming oil and gas right now. So, tipping points tip, this could be one of them. If anything good could come from this grim, ghastly invasion, this could be it. We've certainly hit the bottom of the gas and oil barrel. You can find out more about the Laura Flanders Show on public television and community radio at lauraflanders.org, and join me every Monday night on Instagram Live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining me. I'm Laura.
Okay, we are back, and I am here. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the program. I fixed it. I feel so much better. It's always nice when you deal with the issue you have, and you make it better. And that's what I did. So I dealt with it. It's better. And we're happy. I'm happy. You're happy. We're all happy. So we can all get along and go from there. So it is what it is. I hate my stomach because, like, unlike normal people, I don't. I don't. This is personal, but I don't throw up like normal people. Like I get nauseous, and then I have to go and get sick, and it's usually not pleasant. And my stomach was telling me, deal with it. So what I do, I went and I dealt with it as one does. So you know, it is what it is. Kind of like life. You deal with it, and you take your lumps, and you make the best out of what you're given, and you go from there. And it is entirely frustrating that it is how it is, but sometimes you just have to deal with it and be better off in the long run. And also, wardrobe malfunctions don't help matters. So there's that. That being said, it's all better now, and I it it is entirely frustrating that we on the Democratic Party, or at least I don't see articles about the Democratic Party being written in the Free Beacon or the Blaze or you name the outlet. I don't see articles being written about these groups being energized and being ready to be formed and being ready to go out there and deal with the public and champion progressive causes. Right? I don't see it happening. So I'm left to wonder what the hell is going on. You know, I gotta wonder, are we going to win? Are we going to do well enough to make it so we actually have a viable chance? Are we going to be that party? And I have to say, I'm worried. I'm honestly worried. And I don't believe that it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be wicked hard. I think it's going to be tremendously difficult. And I think we need to really not just hope for the best. We got to get out the vote. We got to mobilize the youth, the people who don't say gay bill. We got to really press hard to get this right. And it's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be an easy task. We are dealing with a political party that does not fight to be kind or to fight to do the right thing. We are dealing with a political party that is really a scary ass thing to behold. And it should frighten everyone that this is where we're at. That this right now is the situation that we are dealing with. It should not make anybody feel comfortable. If anything, the situation should make everybody feel motivated. Everybody should feel completely motivated to get out and vote. Yeah, but Jim, you say that like people are paying attention. Like I know what you mean. Like you're speaking to the choir, right? I'm with you. I believe that they will have shown themselves, but they will not show themselves to people who are unwilling to see, you see? People who are unwilling to open their eyes and see that the GOP is nothing but a cult and a fraudulent venture will not see what you and I see. The average American person is still able to get duped by the Republican Party, by the GOP. The Trumpanzees still have enough capabilities where they can go and get votes and get them crawling out of the woodwork. And I have receipts. Right Wing Watch, and I posted it on Twitter. Right Wing Watch did this story. And it should concern everybody. Everybody should be freaking out. Chad Connolly announced Monday that it's expanding its American Restoration Tour to 16 states for the year's midterm elections. Now, this is the same guy who helped Glenn Youngkin in Virginia become governor in 2021. This is the guy who says that they're going to get 312 churches to register 77,000 new voters. And this was just in 2021 with Youngkin in one state. They recruited over 1,300 people to be poll watchers. And now, here's the scary part. It gets worse. See, they're mobilizing early, and they're ready now. It's not later. It's not sometime next year. It's right now. Connolly later revealed that his activists are doing the similar work around the nation. They're cleaning up voter rolls in 8 states. We're raising the money still, he declared. We're trying to replicate what we did in Virginia. They want to do it in 16 states. Our goal this year is to raise $3 million. And what they're going to do is flood the Jesus base, the churches. And like in Virginia, they had people running around the state doing small meetings with pastors and getting pastors vocal. And according to him, God just provided it. He opened up the doors. So y'all need to be worried. That's why I do this show. That's why this network exists. FYNation.com exists because 35 core pastors from 18 top states think they'll be in. And they want to put the preachers on the ground, baby. They need the Jesus freaks all riled up about their guns, their gays, their I want to say criminal, and it's critical race theory. Their guns, their gays, their criminal race theory. They got to be riled up. Get them all going. Get the Jesus freaks all riled up and ready to pray for whoever it is that, well, put Kevin McCarthy, the dumbest man in Washington, D.C., on top. That's where we're headed. And it's not pretty. It should scare you. It scares me. And it makes me crazy. It makes me absolutely crazy to think that here I am, hoping on a wing and a prayer that those corporate Dems, as Jim points out, are going to come and help us out. No. That's why you got to motivate. Motivate on your own, on your grassroots level. You got to be ready. You got to be able to get ready and vote for the Democratic person over the Republican. It's that simple. It really is. Because if you don't, what you're gonna end up with is a lopsided, out of control, Hunter Biden investigating, right wing bullshit travesty. And everybody has been warned. They're getting out the vote. They are ready. They are willing. They want to do this. They need the control. They want the control. So what are we going to do? Seriously. I'm asking a serious question. What are we going to do? Are we going to just let the Kevin McCarthy's become president or speaker so Donald Trump can be president? Asking for a friend, Jim, yes, whining on the internet is considered activism in my book. Only because I'm really good at it. And you gotta just excel at what you're good at and accentuate the positive and really make things work out the way you want them to work out. And I think a little bitching on the internet can go a long way. I think it can be good for the American people. Yeah, so there's that. I think at this point we got look, the bitching on the internet, and in all honesty, it wakes people up. It makes them aware, and the more pissed off and aware people we have, the more motivated people might actually get out to the polls. And that can't be a bad thing. And so either I'm crooked or my mouth is never mind. Shut up, Tom. I've been fighting with something all day and it's been driving me nuts all day long. And I'm really annoyed. But it is frustrating that here we are dealing with this, and we're the only break we're gonna get is these nincompoops who are running just say and do the most incredibly vile, incredibly disgusting things and make it so they're so unworthy of a vote that people don't vote for them. That's the only thing I can see. I don't know about you. So there's that. Let's see here. I have a little bit of time before a break. I'm gonna do the break early so we can come back. And I promise less breaks after this. I'm getting frustrated by them too. My apologies. But I wanna give good commentary and not be as frustrated with everything else going on in the background as I possibly can. So my apologies on that one. We'll be right back.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1975. That was the day union representatives at Bunker Hill Mining Company in Kellogg, Idaho, were notified of a policy change. The lead and zinc producer had decided to exclude fertile women from working in lead-exposed environments. Women workers had to provide a doctor's note stating they were infertile, postmenopausal, or had been sterilized. Otherwise, they would be transferred to safer departments at a substantial loss in pay. 29 women took the transfer, while at least 3 opted for sterilization. During World War II, companies like Bunker Hill promised millions of women workers that they would eliminate hazards through engineering controls. In the 1970s, a new wave of women gained work in several industries that used occupational safety language to implement exclusionary policies like the one at Bunker Hill. These took the form of outright bans on hiring of women, either altogether or in many departments considered too toxic for women of childbearing years. It meant the real loss of well over 100,000 potential industrial jobs for women. Employers could have provided actual protection through better medical coverage and benefits, installation of engineering controls, or protections to include men's reproductive health. Instead, these policies served to roll back economic and civil rights of women workers, regardless of whether they were mothers or ever planned to be. The women appealed to their union, state and federal commissions, and OSHA, but faced an uphill battle. OSHA initially fined Bunker Hill for outstanding violations and its sterilization policy, but dropped the case once Ronald Reagan took office. The women eventually won wage equivalency in their new jobs, but women working in heavy industry would continue to battle such policies for more than a decade. Labor History in 2 brought to you by the Illinois Labor History Society and The Rick Smith Show.
Okay, that is never good. Sorry about that. Dealing with 50 million things, and that was not what I wanted to do. But we're here and we're live, and it's all good. So we dealt with it. Um, I am super frustrated, if you can't tell today, and I don't want to not do a show. I want to get things right, and I'm just about there. And my dog's trying to come in now. It's a comedy of errors today, and it's quite. If it wasn't quite maddening, it would be hilarious, because it really is funny that it just kind of happens in this crazy ass way. I just when you're trying to do something right and get something away that you're comfortable with, it can be incredibly frustrating. And I'm experimenting today on you guys, and that's not fair to you or to me. But like I said, I'm trying to get things looking better, and I've come to realize it's not going to be perfect. So I just have to face that, and unless I want to spend a lot of money that I don't have, but if I can have things at a better level, I'm happy with that, and less self-conscious. It doesn't help that I am truly, like, I am nervous about the consequences of this guy becoming Speaker of the House. And not Donald Trump. All kidding aside, not Donald Trump. What makes me nervous is the fact that we could have and I gotta quick break, be right back. My dog wants in the room, so I gotta let her in the room. We'll be right back. One quick sec. I promise. All right, and I'm gonna just do this, and we'll have one of those days, folks. Don't get so loud. Oh boy. Okay, so we're back. And you probably heard me talking to my dog in the background. I don't have a way to show her properly. She is a rescue dog that we got, and she is incredibly needy sometimes. And I think it's because my dad is not here. I think she is exceptionally needy right now. And I think that is doing it to her. That is making her freak out a little bit. She's not usually this bad, but she's literally at my knees begging for attention. And it wasn't so if I wasn't so busy trying to do the show, it would be cute. Because she's an adorable little dog. That is why I got her in the first place. I got her because she was an adorable little dog. So there's that. But she is being a pain in the ass. So what I think I'm going to do and this is the last day I do this, is since we're close to the top of the hour, is get everything fixed that I need to fix today, come back tomorrow, and start next week fresh. With my apologies that this nonsense happened the way that it did. We will just fix everything and go from there. So we'll be back tomorrow live, and I apologize for the interruptions, but they are what they are. And glad the dog's going to the vet Monday because I just found a little thing on her. So I'm gonna see what this is, and we will be back tomorrow. And thank you again for listening. My apologies. I tried. This week is not my week. We'll get there. I'll be right back tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Hasta luego, babies. Bye for now.